Have you ever wondered what the G7 summit is and why it matters to the world? This intriguing event is actually a forum consisting of the 7 most influential economies on our planet. It was originally established with the purpose of fostering shared macroeconomic initiatives amongst its members, creating a platform for these powerhouses to discuss and strategize on global economic issues. So, let's dive into the origins of the G7 summit and discover its evolution over the years. The G7 summit, originally the G6, was formed in 1975 amid an international oil crisis. As the global economic landscape shifted, so too did the membership of this influential group. It began with 6 nations, namely France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Canada was welcomed into the fold a year later, transforming the G6 into the G7. For a time, Russia was also included, creating the G8. However, in 2014, Russia's membership was suspended due to its annexation of Crimea, bringing the group back to the G7 we know today. The G7 now comprises 7 of the world's most advanced economies: Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. These nations wield significant influence on the world stage, with their combined economic might representing more than 60% of global net wealth. As such, the decisions they make during their annual summit hold the potential to shape international policies and significantly impact global trends. These 7 nations represent more than 60% of global net wealth, making their collective decisions highly impactful. The G7 summit has had a significant impact on global economic policies and international relations. This collective platform of 7 of the world's most advanced economies has been instrumental in shaping decisions that impact the global stage. For instance, the summit's unified response to global crises, such as economic recessions or pandemics, has often been a beacon of hope and direction for the rest of the world. The advantages of the G7 summit are manifold. The forum allows for shared resources, expertise, and knowledge, leading to more informed and effective decision-making. It fosters a sense of interdependence and cooperation among member countries, strengthening their collective influence on international policies. Moreover, the G7 summit plays a crucial role in addressing global challenges, be it climate change, global health, or economic stability. The collective economic power of the G7, representing over 60% of the net global wealth, enables them to drive meaningful change and effect substantial interventions. However, the G7 summit is not without its complexities. Despite these advantages, the G7 summit also faces its share of challenges. Like any international organization, the G7 summit has its own set of challenges. One of the most prominent is the balancing act of national interests among member countries. Each nation arrives with its own domestic agenda, and finding common ground can be a diplomatic high-wire act. There's also the criticism that the G7, with its focus on the world's largest advanced economies, lacks representation from emerging economies. This criticism has gained momentum in recent years, with the rise of powers like China and India and alliances such as BRICS, which represent a significant portion of the world's population and economy. Looking to the future, the G7 has outlined several key goals. Top among these is sustainability. The G7 is shifting its focus towards green initiatives, acknowledging the urgent need to tackle climate change. Digital transformation is another major goal. The G7 recognizes that the digital economy is the future, and they're working to ensure that this transformation is inclusive and beneficial for all. Finally, there's the focus on global health. This has been underscored by recent events like the COVID-19 pandemic and initiatives like the proposed establishment of a World Health Organization affiliate in Japan. The goal is to strengthen healthcare systems worldwide and create frameworks for preventing the spread of infections. Now, how does all this relate to India, a nation not currently in the G7? India, as an emerging global power, has a complex relationship with the G7 summit. Despite not being an official member of this influential group, India's importance on the global stage has not gone unnoticed. Over the years, India has been invited to participate in the G7 meetings as a guest, a nod to its growing economic and political clout. Aligning more closely with the G7 presents both opportunities and challenges for India. On the one hand, It offers a platform to voice its concerns, influence global policies, and foster stronger relationships with some of the world's most powerful economies. On the other hand, it also requires careful navigation of geopolitical dynamics, especially given India's position within the BRICS alliance, which includes Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa. This balancing act came into sharp focus during recent discussions about potentially expanding the G7 to include more diverse economies. While there are those who advocate for the inclusion of countries like India to reflect the changing global power dynamics, others are more cautious, aware of the potential shifts in balance this could bring. Interestingly, India's role in these discussions is not just about being a potential new member. With its unique position as a bridge between the West and the non-Western world, India has the potential to shape the discourse, contributing to a more inclusive and representative G7. The G7 summit, while not without its challenges, plays an important role in global economics and politics. And for countries like India, engagement with this forum can open doors to greater global influence and cooperation.